Hey guys, I hope you're well. It's Enderas here, tonight with another EVE Online Stratios exploration video. Tonight we're continuing our Angel Combat Anomaly series, and we are continuing with the Angel Forsaken Hideaway tonight. I'm pretty excited, you guys, because if you've seen any of my other videos, you'll be aware of the fit I've been using up until this point. But I've changed it. On my last video, the Angel Hidden Hideaway, someone commented saying they had heard that Stratios were capable of taking on C2 Wormhole combat sites. So I had a look into it, and I have changed the fit. It's so much stronger now, and I'm trying it out in high sec a bit before I go and take on a C2 Wormhole. But when I do, I will make sure I record it. I'll upload a video for you guys. But basically, this is the fit. I'll link it in the description. It's worth mentioning it's significantly more expensive than the previous fit, and that's because of the two Geckos. Okay, in GSED I picked them up for 188 million per drone. They're very expensive drones, but they are unbelievable. I was able to pick them up because I recently had a bit of a windfall on a high sec combat signature for Angels. I had two faction drops from the officer that spawned, worth over 500 million ISK, so I was able to refit my ship. Basically, you've got anti-explosive pump 2 on the rigs, auxiliary nano pump 2 and 1, obviously the cloak, remote armor repairer, so that you can repair the Geckos or any of your drones. Basically, this fit is set up for living independently in a wormhole, away from any sort of station, but it works obviously brilliantly in high sec as well. Your drone link augmentor, a salvager, even though you've already got the 5 salvage drones, and your probe launcher and scanner probes. 10 megabit Afterburner II, Omnidirectional tracking link, and the script. A target painter. You'll see I'm training towards target painter so I can fit target painter 2. But the target painter, even because you're doing all drone damage, doesn't actually help with your damage at all. But apparently it increases your threat to the AI. So it's the way you're calculated, and it's supposed to reduce the frequency with which your drones are targeted by pirate ships. And then you've got cap recharger 2s, 2 of them. The medium armor repairer, obviously. 2 energized adaptive nanomembranes, 2s. Power diagnostic system 2, and drone damage amplifier 2. The drones I tend to use, I've got a lot in here, but for the purposes of Angel high sec site, well, Angel sites in general, Warrior 2s for taking out the frigates, and then your Geckos for more or less anything bigger. Okay, so let's get started. You can see there the estimated 570, but that's because the Geckos are, and that's actually underestimating it by 40 million per drone, so it's quite a lot higher than that. The other good thing with this fit, which you'll see as we get started, is with the prop mod and the armor repairer working, it's cap stable. So whilst it has less armor, it is able to just constantly repair, which makes a huge difference from the last fit. So we'll just warp into the Forsaken Hideaway now. I think I said Forsaken Hideaway at the start of that video. If I said hidden, I apologise. And we'll get started. Now, as always, Stratios is overkill for these high sec sites. This fit isn't going. This site isn't going to do this fit justice. But we're going to do it anyway, because there's some frigates knocking about throughout the warriors. Turn on prop, turn on armour, turn on everything, lock things up, and then just start orbiting. What should we orbit? The listening post at 30. And then obviously the drone's already got started, wiping through everything very quickly. Turn on the target painter. Like I say, these are, you're not going to see it flown brilliantly because the sites are sort of too easy for it. But just as an example of how this fit is better than the previous ones, obviously it's supposed to be able to do C2 wormholes, and I'll let you guys know and show you. But whilst I've been trying out what the fit can achieve, I was flying around low sec and took on an Angel Port, which is the level 8 equivalent of these. So Refuge is level 3, Den's level 4, etc. Angel Port is an 8 out of 10, and this took it on fine. It had no problem with the tank and all the damage coming in. You want to take out the Archdiocese first because they will target your drones. So we'll have a quick check to see if they start targeting my drones, which they probably will. They have, so I'm just going to bring them back in. Don't want to lose any, it's a bit of a waste. Bring them back in. Wait till they target. So the red boxes come up around here saying they targeted you, and throw them back out. There we go. Yellow boxes. Yellow boxes will do. Let's give it a go. What was I saying? It took on the Angel Port, which is an 8 out of 10. Now, no problem with the tanking of that at all, but it was quite slow. The damage while on this is quite high, but it struggles to take down battleships quickly. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend using this ship if you're going to run 8 out of 10s regularly, but it's really nice to know that it can do it. Obviously in low sec and null sec, where these high difficulty sites are, it's a long time to stay decloaked and you risk being caught by pirates, but it's really exciting to find out that it can do it. So these elite frigates go down quite a lot slower than the other ships, but it's just because they're so hard to hit. But you get through them. Also, someone on my previous videos commented whether these sites are even worth doing. If you want to make ISK fast, I would suggest no. Like, the bounties are low, at 15,000 per ship. You get maybe 1 million for one of these sites. The loot is not good. If you can get obviously a commander spawn, but that's quite rare. If that does happen, they can drop faction loot, and that can be worth quite a lot depending on the drop. But the main value to this appears to be getting rarer, but the main value to these sites is the escalation potential. So they escalate into expeditions or DED complexes, which are tougher sites that guarantee faction drops. Again, what loot you get from the faction drops is not guaranteed, but it's guaranteed that there will be a faction drop. And like I said, on one of those DED complexes I ran the other day, it was a 4 out of 10, so could do it in my old Stratios fit, wasn't very difficult, and they dropped over 500 million in worth of ISK. So every now and again you get a big payday. I will admit that it appears to be getting rarer, and if anyone has any information on that, please let me know, because I obviously run quite a lot of these, and I'm not seeing as many drops as I'd like, but hopefully we'll get one today. I doubt it, but hopefully. You guys can see what we're talking about. So, just to save risks to the drones, I always target the frigates first, and then the destroyers in these sites anyway, because there's not the only trigger for the next wave is that everything's dead. On DD complexes or missions and things, you need to look up what the trigger waves are, so you don't have to tank too much damage simultaneously, but on these it really doesn't matter. So I'll just keep going through this at the moment. There may be 1 or 2 more waves after this. It's one of the things with the different levels of the hideaways, is once you get to Hidden and then Forsaken, they spawn quite a lot of waves just to make them bit more challenging. And that just means it takes a bit longer. So we've been running the site now for about 7 minutes, so not very long. It should finish fairly soon. You see the MTU just getting to work. One more wave. Elite again, so we'll just be a little bit careful with those. See the drones automatically attack the ship that targets you first, starts attacking you first. There you go, they've targeted a drone. So let's just see how quickly they start damaging it, and if it speeds up we'll pull them in. But I do want to try and take these out as quickly as possible to get through the site. Now, I will be doing harder videos in the future because I'm working my way through the list of difficulty on these Angel sites. So if you guys are interested in seeing what this fit is capable of doing on harder sites, please subscribe to the channel. I will be doing a C2 Wormhole combat site video if I'm successful. If I fly in there, lose my ship immediately, then it's not worth making the video. I won't upload it, but if it works and you guys want to see it, then subscribe to the channel and you'll get a notification when that happens. If you like the fit, if you try it out and like the fit, please like the video as well. I'll say all this again at the end, but at the moment, as the site is carrying on, I'm going to try and fill a little bit of time. What I'm going to do is, when this is killed, bring them all back in so that they target me instead of just swapping to another drone. Come on, there we go. Bring it all back in for the last couple of Arch. So in Angel space, the elite frigates always start with Arch, just so you know they're elite. They are the ones that are likely to target your drone. If anyone in the site is likely to have any ECM, electronic warfare, or electronic countermeasures, it's the elite ships. In some sites other ships will carry it, but normally it's the elite ship. In this one there is no, the site's too easy to have electronic countermeasures, but they do target drones, and it's really annoying to lose one because each one of these runs nearly close to 2 million. So the whole site becomes not worthwhile if you lose one of them. The other thing worth mentioning is this, as I said, this fit is designed to live independently in wormhole space or nullsec or wherever you want to live without use of a station, and as such it requires you to carry a mobile depot so that you can refit. So this is the PvE fit. If you then you're in a wormhole, you scan down, you do a couple of combat sites, and then you scan down relic or data sites. You can open up a mobile depot, refit the mid slots to put your relic and data analyzers on, and then head and do those sites. Similarly, the Stratios is pretty good for PvP in wormholes because you're fully cloaked, so you can sneak up on people, and depending on what they're flying, your drone damage is fairly high. So if you want to put out the Geckos on a bigger ship, you can get through them pretty quickly. Then you want to carry a PvP fit in here as well, and have it all in the mobile depot. That's the site finished. Lovely. Return them to drone bay. Where's my MTU? Come on. Come on. Approach my MTU. Get out my salvage drones. And I'll add these to the overview, add rect overview. And start salvaging. I'll also, just before we get too into salvaging, I'll just mention that one of the things that makes geckos so strong and why they're justifiably so expensive is they do omni damage, so they do equal damage of every damage type. So you'll see that let's have a quick look at the Warrior 2s. They do just explosive damage. And so if someone's resistance against explosive damage, then you're not going to be able to do very much damage against them, right? Whereas the geckos, look in here, they do big damage across all 4 damage types. So it doesn't matter what your opponent is resisting, you will find their hole, what they're not resisting, and you'll be able to exploit that with the geckos. Also worth mentioning that you'll only be able to fly, in a Stratios anyway, launch 2 geckos at a time, as they require double the bandwidth of a heavy drone, a regular heavy drone. But again, their damage is, they do double the damage of a heavy drone, and like I say, across the board, omni damage. So really worth having. Right, well, I salvage the rest of these. How much is left? I was thinking I'd speed up the video for the last bit, but actually it's going through quite quickly, so we should be able to salvage them before long, and I can just talk a little bit to fill time. Obviously I do have a salvager I could be using to speed this up, but get through the salvage, so the drones get through it so quickly that it's a pretty full-time activity just to lock everything and reassign a drone. So this is only just to speed things up if you are able to get to it in time, you know. Alright, nearly there, nearly there. 1, 2. Okay. What I should have done, we'll do it at the end actually, is just select all the loot and salvage minus the things I already had on my cargo hold. Obviously the things that I've got in my cargo hold were unnecessary for a high set combat site, but I wanted to make sure they were in there for so that you guys are aware of the entire fit to be self-sufficient in wormhole space. And all of that will be linked in the description to this video. Nearly done now, just 2 left, and we can have a look. 1 left, and we'll even turn on our salvager. Why not? There we go, done. Right, bring them in, turn to drone bait. How much salvage? Not much, just 710,000. But it didn't take very long to salvage them, so 710,000 we wouldn't have had otherwise. What have we got to loot? Nothing, 104,000. So the whole thing has been worth less than $1 million. Obviously there's the bounty, but that's not very much either. And no escalation, no officers again. But hopefully you guys have understand the fit, had a bit of a demonstration. You can see how it's complete. They had all 4 of these running the whole time, and it's cap stable, about 40% capacitor. I will, like I say, I will be making more challenging videos moving forward. Once we finish, the next video in this series will be the Angel Forlorn Hideaway, which is more challenging. But then we move on to the Refuge, and then the Den, and then it starts getting properly challenging, and we move into low sec. Similarly, I'll try and alongside it, I'll try and run a successful C2 wormhole combat site for you guys. But I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, sorry it's run quite long. What are we at? 20 minutes. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment if you have any suggestions, any videos you'd like to see, and subscribe to the channel if you think you'll want to see some of the harder sites moving forward. Thanks guys.